I want to go back a little bit at this point in time, for our audience's sake, I'd like to just talk about the giants.
Sure.
As the Bible does, because essentially this is sort of an ignored portion of Scripture.
A fringe part of Scripture,
It's
as it were.
considered, on the fringe. You don't talk about the giants, but they play a part in history. Chapter 14 of Genesis talks about 4 Gentile kings, and I'm not going to mention their names, who come up against Abraham. Now, Abraham's in the Promised Land, and he and Lot have settled the Promised Land at this point. God is behind their efforts. He's blessing them. And in the verse 5, it says, in the 14th year came Kedorlaomer and the kings that were with him. Now, they came after Abraham with the idea of conquering the land. But here's the interesting part. And they smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth Karnaim, and the Zuzims in Ham, and the Emims in Shaveh Kiriathaim. 3 tribes of giants are mentioned here. And the kings came into the land against Abraham and against the giants. And this is the first really prominent mention of giant tribes after Abraham and Lot came in and settled. But it's not the last.
Yeah.
They're mentioned many, many times.
And what's disturbing is that they're there to begin with.
Right.
That we're even that Abraham and the crew is actually dealing with these, whatever they are. That's what's disturbing.
Now let's move forward a bit to Numbers, chapter 13. And we have here at the end of Numbers chapter 13 a tribe mentioned. They're called the children of Anak, A-N-A-K. And the children of Anak are called the Anakim. They're giants. But the fascinating thing, and you mentioned this very often in your lectures, Anakim means long-necked ones, meaning that there's something about their anatomy that's weird. And their countenance is strange. So we have long-necked giants with, I think, really scary faces. And the episode here, and I'm going to give it back to you right after this. The episode here is the turning point in Israelite history. When Joshua and Caleb were given the opportunity to go in and defeat the Anakim, and they were willing to do it. But their compatriots said, no, we're like grasshoppers in their sight. There's no way we can fight these people. These are the long-necked ones that they refused to go up with. As a result, they are forced to wander 40 years in the wilderness. Now, this is a breaking point in Israelite history.
It is. And what amazes me, and I wrote about this little sidestep here in the Cosmic Chess Match, that the reason why, in my opinion, that God hardens Pharaoh's heart over and over and over again. Pharaoh goes, well, I'll let him go. And then God hardens Pharaoh's heart, is to show the Israelites who he really is and what he's capable of doing, knowing full well that in the not too distant future, he's going to bring them all up to the Promised Land, and they're going to see what's there, and they're going to turn tail and run. And they do that. But that generation dies off. It's 40 years. A new generation comes up, and they go in and prosecute the war. And what we see is there's a supernatural element to the prosecution of that war.
Absolutely.
Think of Jericho.
Yeah.
That's absolutely astounding what happens to Jericho. And Jericho, to me, is a Nephilim stronghold. That's what it is.
And
now,
the word got out, by the way, as Joshua began to win battles, one after another, that God is with this man.
Yes.
We cannot fight him. And they evacuated the land.
There's a diaspora